This is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talon Mix. It's a Smallville recap podcast. You know, you fucking clicked into the thing. You clicked hit play. Hi, Zach and Brian. Hello, Zach.
Hey, Brian.
I'm done pretending. I'm off the rails today. I was just editing last week's and how that went entirely off the rails. If you remember the intro being a nightmare.
The intro was a catastrophe.
You know what? Fuck it. Hi, Smallville podcast. Brian and Zach are here.
All right, let's talk. Let's go.
Fuck you for listening to this. Zach, can I diversion real fast into a segment I like to call Brian Cannot Plug This Show for the Life of Him. Somehow, whenever a friend invites me onto their show and I get a moment to be like, Brian, what are you up to? And I say, like, I have a Smallville podcast. I do a bad job every time. So I believe out this week, maybe next week, I was on Jenna Stieber, friend of the show's wonderful podcast, Big Game Hunger. A lot of fun. And at the end of the show, of course, there was an opportunity for me to talk about this show. And what I wanted to say while I'm talking about it, what I want to communicate is we used to say, hey, this is a fun show, even if you don't watch Smallville. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I think now this is a pretty Smallville-centric show. And then I decided, of course, that's a little too much for a quick plug segment. I should just convey something real fast, to which I said, Zach, the words, I don't recommend it.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect, Brian.
So, that's just how it goes. At least, and so the last time on this segment, I was on another show and I just forgot to say the name of
right. I remember that you told me that.
I forgot this time too. Jenna was like, Brian, what's the name of the podcast? I'm like, the Talon Mix.
Is this she was on our show, right?
She was on the stream a handful of times. I don't think there's an official episode that Jenna's on. We should get her on one. I feel like she was on. I don't think we made Jenna watch an episode of Smallville, but I think she's been on the stream a handful.
What's her show that she hosts?
It's new. It's called Big Game Hunger. This is not Carolyn Page with the FMK show with the fucking.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Jenna's been around though. Jenna also, when I said, "Oh, I do a podcast about Smallville," Jenna laughed and said, "Oh, you're still doing that."
You should say next time. You should say, "I'm going to try some reverse psychology. Whatever you do, don't listen to this show. Don't do it."
Today. Dude, that worked for me today. So I during the day, sometimes I play Dungeons and Dragons with kids, with the local youths at a Brooklyn game store. And I got one kid who's a real problem. Just a real little asshole. And just disruptive, a pain in the ass, bad at the game. It's a whole thing. So I looked him in the eye and I'm like, Chris, I challenge you. I actually challenge you to engage with the game in like the correct way. And to be clear, I don't believe in you. I don't think you can do it. I literally don't think you can do it. And it was and you know what? Had a great game. Had a one.
Oh, good parenting. Hell yeah. This is like Dangerous Minds.
Even them.
This is like an updated version of Dangerous Minds.
That's it. I don't get that reference.
Dangerous Minds is one of those cringy white teacher goes to black
was
school,
that Michelle Pfeiffer
underprivileged
like,
school. Yes,
is that's what Gangster's Paradise is from?
Yes.
The music, or at least the music video, is very Michelle Pfeiffer turning the chair backwards of opposite Coolio and be like, "Tell me what's going on." God, that's a good video.
Great song. I
don't know, Zach. You got any diversions? This episode sucks.
Gosh, I don't. I was going to have a new Talk and Talkville segment, but I can't remember what I wanted to talk about this week. So
fair enough.
It's gone. It's over.
Save it for next week.
Yeah.
So we watched Fragile. An episode that we're not talking grade A stinker territory. We're not in like the worst of the worst, the bads of the bads. But like this is definitively though in the bad column. Like if there's green, there's yellow. We've tipped into red.
Yes,
bad. I personally
made me yearn for Flatliners knockoff.
So if you don't mind humoring me, I would love to see the streak that we're on. I'd love to go backwards and determine like when was the last good episode. Doesn't have to be great, just has to be in the green. Not even in is yellow good? Does it just have to be yellow?
It's going to be I would say let's see how long it's been since green, since good.
Great.
And I would say we've been on longer streaks. Whatever this is, we've certainly been on longer streaks.
We should start keeping track of streaks.
But this season started off really pretty solid.
I remember this season being good.
We've taken a nosedive, and I remember the same thing. I remember last time and the first time I watched it, right around Johnny K's death, is when we just kind of go on a plummet in quality. Is that the last
good episode?
Well, let's look at let's read them off.
Okay. So the previous episode's Void. I'd give that one a bad.
Yeah, that's a yellow at best.
Yeah, right. Before that was Hypnotic.
We had fun with that one.
Oh
right?
Yeah, okay. I'd tip that into green.
Yeah, that's low green.
Okay.
Low green. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just barely.
But I do think before that we were like, oh, good, finally a good one again. So it's been like rough, good, rough.
And like not great. Not great.
Yeah.
Cyborgs before that. Cyborgs not great. Tomb before that is really bad.
Which one was Tomb?
Vengeance is bad.
Which one is Tomb?
Tomb is the ghost.
Oh, fucking ghost. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That one's the pits.
Gosh, your best one aside from Hypnosis is Vengeance.
Yeah.
Just because we're at least dealing with some post Johnny K's death, like good meaty drama, and we're dealing with some Lex Lionel corporate intrigue.
Right.
But that's a yellow. That's a firm yellow.
Am I nuts of like, I could just look this up, but most lists rank 5 really high.
I think you're right.
And this is a rough. Is it just because fucking Aquaman's here?
No, I feel like the run up to Johnny K's death had a lot of solid episodes and a lot of interesting storylines. You got Lex running for office.
Sure.
You got
Lex
is
an all-timer.
Yeah, and Lois is a series regular. I mean, you got the strip club episode.
I think that was 4? Is that 5? You're right. Lois was introduced in 4 and then became a regular in 5. Man, we've been in season 5 for a long time. We're episode 18. We're closer to the end than not.
We are. We're almost out of it, and we have. We're going to talk about season 6
worst yet.
We're going to talk about season 6 later when we get into the Lex Lana stuff because I have a lot to say.
When's the strike? Is that 6 or 7?
7. That's 7.
Okay, that's where the streak is going to come.
I am really interested to see because I feel like. And I might be crazy. I feel like we are going to like season 7 more than some of these other seasons significantly.
I think it's possible. I am not backing away from that possibility. I remember that's when I dropped off too.
Yeah. But when I went back later and watched it, once they come back from the strike, that final batch of episodes before the end of the season is real strong.
Okay.
Like, they end the Lex thing, at least from what I remember, they end that well.
Okay. Season 7 is the one that I remember it being on. It probably would have been the first one that I watched live. And I remember I'm sitting there, I'm watching it. My father sits down next to me. He's not intending to watch the show. We're not going to watch the show together. He's just in the room and the show is on. And he knows that I like this show. If he were to see a Smallville advert, he'd be able to go, "You like that show." That's about his level of engagement here. And I forget exactly what the scene is. It was involving Supergirl in some capacity. And my father just looks at me like, "You like this?" "There's a strike happening, Dad. There's a strike, Kurt." Wait for Lionel.
Yeah. Oh no, the first half, 2/3 of that season are rough.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to enjoy it because there's a lot of stupid shit that we're going to like really silly shit.
I think it's going to make for great Smallville podcasting.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, this week we watched Fragile. It's the 18th episode in the 5th season of Smallville. It's the 106th episode overall. It aired April 13th, 2006. I know all this, of course, because I'm reading directly from the Smallville wiki, smallville.fandom.com. Fun fact about this episode. Sorry, Zach, what was that?
I was going to say, do you think they just every few years, they just look at each other in the writer's room and go, "Want to do another Orphan episode?" Or
it's just another fucking Orphan episode. There's too many. And it's not Tom's strike zone, gotta say.
No. And they have
Tom being like good with the kids, not his strike zone.
And they have no like other, like they can't find another way to introduce a child actor into the show if that's what they want to do. It's always got to be an orphan.
Right. So, fun fact, this is Tom Welling's directorial debut. I believe he'll direct a couple of episodes of Smallville.
Oh yeah, I think he does quite a few.
This is kind of what happens when you've been on a show for a long time and the show entirely dominates your life. You got to start throwing some bones.
Yeah.
TV directing is not the same as film directing, where film directing, the director's kind of closer to the author of the work. And that even still depends. There's a lot of studio stuff where someone's just stepping in. But according to like fucking French auteur theory, the director is the author of the work. In television, I think a director is a much more meat and potatoes role. You gotta make the fucking day.
The writers are the auteurs in TV.
Right.
Comparatively.
Shoot the fucking script and make the day. It's a lot of logistical planning, and it's directing. It's making sure all the departments come together and make the episode of television you've been assigned to do. We talked about it before we can get into it. I don't think what's weird about this episode is necessarily director Tom Welling's fault, but we both noted the pacing is weird.
Yes. Yeah, I did. Like I said to you, I heard the soundtrack working really hard in a couple scenes.
Yeah.
And I usually notice that when there's just like dead air, like there's just no one's doing anything shots. Right. And that might not be the directing, like you said. That might be the script. We just have where there's not enough there this week.
It's certainly the script is a mess. It's just not baked. It's nothing. It's soup.
No.
It slips through your fingers. I will say also, typically, I think in these situations where a star is given the chance to direct an episode, there's usually still a veteran director of the series, someone established kind of shadowing them, so that when they're like, "This is really hard."
Right. Oh yeah.
Okay. I can pick up the pieces and make sure hair is where they need to be that day.
I'm sure the training wheels are on for sure.
Yeah. But I think that'll be interesting to keep in mind. Because I was watching this episode under the assumption like no one cares about this. No one gives a shit about this episode. But we know one person was really stressed out with this episode. So going into the recap, Naomi is preparing dinner for her foster daughter, 11-year-old Maddie Van Horn. Maddie is drawing and does not respond when Naomi tells her it's time to eat. Naomi attempts to take the notebook from her, and Maddie gets upset. They struggle, and a pitcher of water suddenly explodes. Okay, this is me not knowing a lot, but like the foster system is like usually like, here's a safe place for you to live while we find a place for you to go. And like, I don't know how, like, hey, there's going to be no drawing at the table. How often that kind of stuff is going to come in? Am I crazy? I feel like off my fucking rocker?
My understanding of the foster system is based solely on movies and TV. And they always depict the foster parents as like secretly mean. They're just using the kids to get the money or whatever.
Right.
So I could see them being like, you don't get to do that. Go do your chores and your homework.
But this is Martha's chief of staff, we learn.
Oh, yeah. So
this is clearly someone, hoping to do the right thing.
But she's not really being bad.
She's
just
not.
Like, hey, it's time for dinner, and you're not doing what I'm saying.
I guess that's fair. Naomi realizes that Maddie broke the pitcher with her mind and gets scared of her. She says she is calling foster care to pick her up and sends Maddie to her room. Upset, Maddie hides under the bed. In the kitchen, everything made of glass explodes. Naomi looks on in horror as shards go towards her.
So that's not quite what happens.
Right.
The windows and stuff explode, and then Naomi hides under the table. She then emerges unscathed, and then things start to shake again. And she's like, oh no. And she walks towards the mirror and gets like her face like 2 inches away from it, like looking at, oh no, that mirror is about to explode. Why are you walking toward it, lady?
Just walking right into shrapnel.
Go back under the table. Darwinism. It's Darwin.
That's it.
Darwin.
That's it. It's, I mean, this, let's be real here. A lone adult parent in Smallville is the equivalent of a Star Trek red shirt. Like, you are there to die.
Yeah, especially if you got a creepy kid.
Yeah, right. If you have a creepy kid, if you introduce an adult and a creepy kid, you have to kill that adult. It's Chekhov's foster parent.
Chekhov's foster parent. Yeah, I think foster parents probably have a high death rate in movies and TV.
I would think so. T2, come on.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's my go-to.
That same evening, Clark is being interviewed by a deputy. He has brought Maddie back with him to the Kent farm. There's a deleted scene where Clark finds Maddie down in the basement or something and sees the dead lady.
There has to be because
right.
it's just like ADR, like.
Which it's
I found her.
You didn't have time for that in this episode? Like, that's what you cut? Martha explains that Maddie's foster mother was her chief of staff and can't understand who would want to kill her with lots of little pieces of glass, nonetheless. No one else is talking like all her windows exploded. She's just been murdered.
Yeah, why do they assume it's murder if it's like all the windows are broken? Like, that's like an environmental thing happened. Did a tornado hit, or like
what exploded here and then suddenly dissipated and didn't burn anything? And just like, even Clark at one point is like, I can't believe this terrible crime happened. What? episode's bad, dude.
We're not even there yet.
We're not even
to the bad yet.
While watching this, I'm still in Freak of the Week. That's fun. Okay. Can't understand who would want to kill her. She says Maddie has been in and out of foster homes since she was 3 when she witnessed her mother die in a car accident. Maddie has not spoken a word since. Clark approaches the girl and tries to get her to open up by asking about her art, but she remains silent. Lex is dropping Lana off at her dorm, and Zach, we have a clip.
The flirty banter in this scene made me want to take 8 showers simultaneously in a row, just right after the other.
As long as we had to wade through a sea of government paperwork, at least we got to do it over spicy tuna rolls.
Yeah, well, I'm not too fond of working in the stacks.
You know, I have to admit, I was pretty impressed when you ordered the entire meal in fluent Japanese.
Brian, pause it.
Me about the squid.
It's paused.
When you enter a room with someone, do you just recap everything that just happened 10 minutes ago with them?
Do you not?
I'm going to start doing that every time I enter a room with someone.
I mean, every time we stop recording this podcast, we go like, man, sure was great recording our Smallville recap podcast together.
Remember when you said this? Actually, just to pull back the curtain, the end of our podcast, as soon as Brian hit stop, he's like, I'm going to go to bed.
Yes.
Which is fair. He's 3 hours later than I am.
We had stopped him. I'm done.
Yeah, bye. And I'm like, yeah, bye. I gotta pee. Bye. Later. I'll see you next week.
It's to be clear to everyone, this podcast is our hangout time. Like,
yes.
This is our social hobby time together. It's sandwiched in between nothing. Okay. Lex, Lana in Lana's dorm.
Good brains, though.
Oh, we should cut a day show. Come on, you can't fool me. You loved it.
Lex, I was thinking, I don't really feel comfortable hanging on to these. Some of these papers are marked classified, and you could get into a lot of trouble even showing them to me.
Lana, if Milton Fine is right about an extraterrestrial threat, the last thing the government's going to be worried about is Lana Lang.
Oh, they hang out and they look at documents about UFOs together.
Brian, they have my least favorite dynamic in this show. I don't know how else to put it. It's not, apart from the ickiness, the age thing.
Let's even go into Smallville world and just be like, everyone's an adult, which they all
exactly.
are.
Yes, exactly. Let's just say that. There's something about their chemistry that I can't stand. I think maybe it's because it's one of these relationships that is just toxic from the beginning. Like you can tell, like they're both just awful for each other.
You're right. There's no part of me that's like, hang on. Is that on a meta level? Yes, it makes sense to me. Break Lana and Clark up. Have Lex swoop in. That, of course, makes sense to me if I'm looking at it very coldly as a game board. But it's not working for me, dude.
No, I don't think the part of their relationship where we're supposed to root for them works at all, because
we're supposed to kind of think it's cute and or kind of sexy and wrong.
Yes, and I don't think it's cute because maybe it's just the two of them together, but the flirting... Because when I watch Clark and Lois flirt, I'm like, yeah, give me more of that shit.
Yeah. It's chemistry's weird. You kind of either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
Which is just based on the amount of times Kristen Crook has been on like Michael Rosenbaum's podcast projects. I believe they're friendly, or if not good friends, and you can still not have it, you know?
And I'm sure a huge part of it is the writing, too, the way they're writing it.
It's doing them no favors, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I will say, I do think later in season 6, when things are starting to sour, I do think it works a lot better because it's like you're dealing with conniving, jealous Lex
Sure.
And Lana's trying to escape, kind of, and the Clark thing is back in play. But we got like starting now. We got like a season and a half of this shit, Brian. So buckle up.
Yeah. Oh, and like I said, it'd be nice if it did work. If it did work, that could be fun.
Yes.
I'll also say the YouTube clip that we are looking at does have this video labeled Lexana, as in the code phrase for putting Lex and Lana together. So
Someone's rooting for
it.
Yeah,
Somebody's rooting for it. I don't want to hang out with them.
It was if Michael Rosenbaum made this.
Yeah. All right, continuing.
Besides, you're the only one who knows of my transgression. I think I'm safe with my fate in your hand.
They're standing 1 inch apart.
And Rosenbaum's doing
trust
like
me.
the sexy voice, and no.
Well, I hope you feel the same way about me.
I do.
Creepy. You're creepy.
You're creepy. And Chloe walks in.
Sorry, I forgot my pencil in the library.
That's good. Oh, I remembered my Talk in Talkville update. It's totally
What was your
relevant.
Talk in Talkville update? I think that's the end here. Oh, we got some Lana. We'll decide. So do your Talk in Talkville, and then we can decide if this clip is still relevant.
Yes. So this week on Talkville, they're like towards the end of season 3. I don't remember the specifics of the episode, but there's a scene where Lex is giving Lana advice. And this is at the beginning of Lex starting to creep on Lana a little bit.
Okay.
And one of the callers with their call-in question asks if, like, was Lex being creepy in that scene? And Michael Rosenbaum was in total denial about it. He's in total Lex creep denial. And I'd like to see if that holds when it gets really creepy, because we're just at the beginning.
What was
of
his that he wasn't intending to smooch Lana? Like that wasn't in his brain, or that this is a justified? What was his position on it?
He doesn't kiss her or anything in that scene. He's just giving her advice, but he's doing it kind of creepy. Yeah, his.
So Michael Rosenbaum doesn't think Lex has any sort of ulterior motive there towards Lana.
No, he does not. At this point, he's like, I don't think he's interested in her like that. I don't know. He's, she's a high schooler. No, I'm like, Rosenbaum, babe. Are we watching the same show? Yeah. Like I said, that's the early part of it. So it'll be interesting to see when it gets more overt. If he's still in denial.
At this point in the show, Lana is still in high school, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, she's still, not only is she still in high school, but she's still like 17 or something. So
maybe just erring on the safe side of everybody's reputations.
Yeah.
There's nothing to gain, I think, from someone who still maybe wants to make season 11 of Smallville animated, which is never going to happen.
No, not anytime soon. Not with the new DC situation.
They should give us the scripts and let us make little stick figure flip books.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we'll do something with it.
Or just let them read them for our Patreon.
Or let us write the scripts. I mean, that would be better.
Yeah. What do you think? Should we keep going with this clip? Next we got Chloe and Lex.
They get the scripts. They're like, why is it all Lionel? Clark's not even in these episodes.
It's just Lionel hanging out with Batman? I don't...
Yeah.
It's good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really
just
good.
Emphatically shaking our heads. And there's a couple scenes with Chloe in here that just say, we just want to see if you'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Okay, should we do this Lex Chloe scene, or should we head back?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So we're at the Luther Mansion.
Lex about to start playing cool, like he always is.
Lex is looking at his laptop where we have an email open, and he's watching videos with large AOL branding. If you want to, and even by 2006, we were an AOL house growing up. And by 2006, I was off AOL. Wi-Fi existed.
I'm trying to remember. Were we still on AOL Instant Messenger though in college? I think maybe that was still kicking.
I certainly was.
Yeah,
but I was a pretty like internet-y kid, so like I had a lot of like internet friends, and AIM was my main way of communicating. I don't know if you and I did.
No, I think you and I were talking on that pretty regularly because
certainly
rather than cell phones or whatever, because I don't think texting was as.
Texting was the thing, but that was a very quick. I still had the regular like numbered keypad.
No, we both did. Yeah, so it was a pain in the ass. You couldn't like have full on quick You couldn't like have fluid conversations like you can now because you
like we did for a full decade before we started doing a podcast together.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So Lex is getting a shockingly clear video sent to him on AOL. I'm sure this is something to do with the alien shit, but it's just mostly just coming across as blah, 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 blah.
It's two different people in different parts of the world saying they just saw Professor Fine.
Got it. Chloe walks in.
I know your moral compass has a tendency.
If I walk into a room and someone quickly closes a laptop like that, I'm just assuming it's porn.
It's
she walks in and Lex just slams the laptop shut like, Chloe.
This is going to be TMI. But as an occasional consumer of pornography,
as we all are,
it was the family was out and about, and I was enjoying some occasional usage of pornography. And now, keep in mind, of course, my wife knows I look at porn. Like, there's nothing in general, but like nothing to be embarrassed about. That's all good and fine and healthy.
You're adults.
Door opens and I'm still like, no. And my wife is just looking at me like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. She did the right thing. She just moved on from the room, just leaving me there in my shame. Can I tell you one more horrible story?
Oh God, yeah, let's go.
Porn-related story. I'm young. I'm still living at my parents' house, and I used to have to help my father write things for his work. He had this BlackBerry that would occasionally he'd just shove his BlackBerry in my face and dictate, and I could just type it out so much faster than he could. He would rely on this quite a bit when he was at home. So it's probably summer. That's probably why I'm home in the afternoon. My door opens and there's no denying what's happening here. As windows come up, pants are being zipped up. There is no denying what has transgressed here. Now, I think the polite thing for my father to have done would have been like, oh, sorry. Need your help when you get a second, maybe. My father, my pants not zipped up, can't stress this enough, puts his BlackBerry in my hands and proceeds to dictate the email he needs sent.
Oh, no.
It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I've lived a blessed life. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me, Zach.
That is just scarring. That's scarring.
Truly a horrible thing that's happened.
Oh gosh, that's
great. I told that story now at family gatherings, and my dad's like, "What? No, I don't remember that. That never happened." I'm like, "I wouldn't have done that if I had known." And I'm like, "No, you did. That did happen.
Is there any chance he didn't know?
No,
Like he was just not paying attention?
it's so literally not possible. It's unless it's possible for me to be shutting a laptop, my pants are unzipped, and hear, oh, no! Be taken any other way.
Oh, man. God bless it.
Lex was not looking at porn when Chloe walked in. Also, another example of next time through Smallville, we should definitely keep track of times people just barge into Lex's home to yell at him.
No, I was going to say, did he know she was coming?
Yeah. Did he have to buzz her in?
Yeah.
Imagine people you know. Chloe, not specifically very closely, I think.
No,
just
no.
Opening your door to yell at you.
If he knew she was coming over, he would have been watching that video that he had to slam the laptop shut.
Yeah,
on.
right. Here we go.
Well, it's despicable.
I think your reporter's eye is getting a little cloudy. You're starting to see things that aren't there.
I don't have to work for the DWP to know that there was enough electricity in that room to light up the entire state of Kansas.
It's interesting how perceptive you are about affairs of the heart, considering you've never actually been in a serious relationship.
Oh! That is the pettiest shit I've ever heard from an adult.
And you know what, Chloe? That's what you get for just walking into a man's house to yell at him.
Lex is like, yeah, well, you never had a boyfriend. Boom.
Subversion. Oh, man.
Do you really think that Lana would be remotely interested in you if she wasn't swept up in her own emotional tornado? I mean, honestly.
I appreciate you looking out for your friend. I do the same, but your concern is unwarranted. We're friends, nothing more.
Lex, I know you're used to getting whatever you want.
Why do these adults always, like adults in teen television shows, and you'd be like, we're friends. Anytime any situation like this is like come up between someone I'm kind of have been vibing with, so it's like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no shame.
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, I've not recently, but a couple of years ago, I had some people ask me similarly, like, what's going on with and I was like, you know, we're interested, we're getting to know each other.
You know. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I can't speak for them.
All Lex owes anybody's, you know.
Yeah, none of your business. Get out of my house. You never had a boyfriend. Why would I tell you?
Walking into my house.
Yeah. No one ever just wants to play pool with me.
Is there a universe where Lex heard Chloe buzz? This is something to ask Talkville.
He ran over.
Chloe didn't. Chloe had to. Well, so Chloe's car rolls up. Security lets know, we have a Chloe Sullivan here. Oh, yeah, let her in. He starts racking up.
Yeah, he's like, yes, pool.
Maybe we'll get a game going. Maybe.
He's like, I'm always just playing by myself. It's no fun.
And then Chloe just busts open the door like, don't date my friend.
And he's like, shit, better close this laptop.
Oh, man, fuck. Another one of these. One day someone will just be... Someone will just want to play pool. Oh, poor Lex.
I'm thinking about the consequences, but I promise you, if you hurt my friend, there will be a consequence.
What do you have? What leverage do you have here, Chloe? Let's be real.
She's investigative.
Oh, of course. Actually, yeah, Chloe could get into some shit.
Yeah.
And you're looking at her.
Careful, she's going to brand you.
For sex stuff.
An inkling why you've never had a boyfriend.
Oh, wait, you got to go back. You got to play. Sorry, I talked over it. We got to hear that come back by Lex.
you're looking at her.
Chloe, I think I'm getting an inkling why you've never had a boyfriend.
Oh, boo. Boo to that, sir. That's so lame. That's just childish.
It's not good. The first one was funny.
Yeah, the first one is funny. That one is like, that's something a high schooler might say and be embarrassed about. Like, he's an adult man.
Yes. So, the next day, Clark shows Maddie around the farm. Maddie meets Shelby and whispers to the dog. Maddie, of course, doesn't talk. So the fact that Clark, with his super hearing, is able to hear just like good dog being whispered.
Right, yeah.
So Clark uses his super hearing to discover that she can talk and convinces her that he isn't going to judge her or be mean to her. Maddie decides to talk to Clark. So, once again, kind of like Lex and Luthor, I see the pieces. Of course, Superman being friendly and earning the trust of a kid is like, yep, that's Superman stuff. You know what I mean? Tom's not good at it. It's a little much. He puts a little mustard on it every time. And
yes,
which
it's real
is
cheesy.
Also talking to kids a lot, but
it's so cheesy and not like in a good Superman way. It's just too much. You're right. You put it's exactly it. It's just a little too much mustard on it.
I got 30 kids the other day to start calling me Danger, which was the highlight of my life. Didn't ask for it. Just said that was my name, and they all went with it.
Yes.
You've always liked that name. That is a name.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Maddie decides to talk to Clark, and they agree to go horseback riding. Just then, Lois comes in and introduces herself. Erica Durance, normally a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day in this show, off this week.
Yes.
Off.
Yes.
I assume is script, but like everything here is weird. Her entire vibe is weird.
Yes. She basically comes in and is like, your mom called me because I haven't been in an episode in a while, and I'm literally don't have almost anything to do in this episode, but I'm just going to be around.
Right. Maybe that's it. Of just there's no reason for Lois to be here.
Right. Yeah.
So Maddie is wary of Lois, and when Lois invites herself to their outing, all the lights burst in the barn. Maddie runs into the house. She is crying and silent again, and Clark tells her that he understands that she has powers, and she can tell him the truth. Maddie admits that she can break glass, but she can't control it when she gets upset. Clark has to ask if she hurt Naomi, but Maddie says she can't do it through walls and denies killing her.
What? That's just the most arbitrary. Does it matter what kind of walls? Like any kind of
right.
wall?
Like, what if I just put a room divider up? You know, when you're in like a studio apartment and you kind of have to make does that do anything? Like,
what if it's just like a tarp?
Yeah. What? When is the wall finished?
If we're camping, and I'm on the outside of the tent and you're on the inside of the tent, can you break the lantern glass and stab me with it?
This is another list of questions to send Talkville. Okay. If anyone is jumping in here and is a regular listener to Talkville, if you like the second best Smallville podcast better than you like the best Smallville podcast, keep these questions in mind. Feel free to steal them because they're better than the things that end up on the show.
Yes, totally. You can use any of this.
Use any of this. Okay. Just then. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Dude, I just doggone lost my place, Zach. can't do it through walls and denies killing her. Lois tells Clark that she is suspicious of Maddie. Clark defends her and asks her to look after her for a few hours while he investigates further and tricks Lois into agreeing.
Asks her to look after her for... It's a confusing sentence.
Wiki. The wiki.
Wiki, baby. Wiki strikes again. Yeah, pretty boring. Pretty boring so far.
It's... Oh my God, there's so much left. Oh, sometimes these nothing ones have the longest fucking summaries. Okay. Clark gets Chloe to look into Maddie's foster records, and she reports that there are several references to broken glass of disastrous proportions. Clark
Walking on broken glass. Dun, 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 dun.
Clark still doesn't believe Maddie is dangerous and speculates that he could be in the same situation if he hadn't been adopted. Chloe gives him more details on the crash that killed Maddie's mother, saying that it was a freak accident. Lois takes Maddie into the fields for a picnic, but she runs away to find Shelby the dog. She runs into the tool shed of the barn full of jars and glass containing containers that rattle alarmingly. Lois calms her down and asks if they can leave before one of them gets hurt. A child services advocate arrives to pick Maddie up and hears Lois' statement and automatically assumes something bad. Yeah, right. Something about like, would hate for one of us to get hurt. And child service person,
right.
Like, excuse me?
Yeah, he thinks Lois is abusing this kid.
Yeah. Lois tries to warn him.
Classic sitcom misunderstanding.
Yep.
Are you a child abuser?
Lois tries to warn him about Maddie's ability, but he brushes her off, saying she needs to be taken where she can be cared for properly, and collects the girl to take her back to a shelter. As Maddie gets into the back seat, the car windows begin to rattle and then ultimately explode, killing the advocate. Okay. So here's the thing. This is not a car destruction. As we will see in a moment, the car, all the windows have been blasted, but is perfectly capable of... Car windows are not made of glass.
Ooh.
They specifically, actually, they're designed to break into like cubes so that it's safer for when you're... and it's not glass, not of some like polymer or something. Like, I don't know why.
Well, maybe her power also extends to polymers.
Is it not glass, just like clear, hard surfaces? Can she also shatter just sheets of plastic? Is glass just easier?
Is the car count as a wall? Like if the doors are closed? Confused.
Good question. And does it matter now that the windows have been shattered? Has that broken the wall? Smallville, you got to explain.
We need what's like appendix, like endnotes?
Yes.
What is that called? The footnotes?
I think you got it with the appendix. Or footnotes, yeah. The blast knocks Lois to the ground and impales her shoulder with shards of glass. A man approaches the car and pushes Maddie back in and drives away. Now, obviously, glass would be horrible. To be pelted with a ton of glass. Am I crazy that I feel like they're all being like a little dramatic? Am I wrong? I might be wrong. I fully think I might be wrong.
Well, it's just an easy fix. It's like, don't let her be around glass, right? Like the field was a great idea out in the fields.
Yeah, right. Magneto's harder. It's also funny to just Magneto, but except she can't even control the glass.
Right, yeah. Well, I think that Dad can though, kind of.
You're right. Speaking of him, Clark goes to the hospital to see if Lois is okay. Lois feels guilty for letting Maddie get kidnapped. Maddie is seen trying to use a payphone to call Clark when the kidnapper approaches her. Some A+ kid acting here of on the phone, like, come on, Clark. Pick up, Clark. Not specifically making fun of this child.
No, she actually does a pretty good job in the dramatic moments in this episode.
But kid actors be kid acting.
That's also directing. It's also writing and directing.
Oh, a great point.
That was in the script. She was told to say it.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, oh, right. To be clear, no one could pull that off because it doesn't sound good.
No.
Okay. Now, I also understand needing to quickly express urgency in the scene. So, like, her just, I guess in theory, you should have just shown her anxious. If you wanted to be good, quote unquote. I'm hiccuping, which is cool and great podcasting. You should have shown her just anxiously by the phone as it rang. Like, you could have
looking over her shoulder.
That urgency visually. Yeah. You didn't need pick up. But that's where we are. Okay. He tells her, the man stops Maddie from with the phone call. He tells her that he is her father, Tyler McKnight. Maddie figures out that Tyler has the same power as her and is the one responsible for the recent deaths, including her mother's. Tyler says he spent years in prison and wants her with him. Let's see. Lex is viewing several webcam videos of witnesses that claim to have seen Milton find. Okay, this is where the Lex Chloe scene did not immediately follow that Lana scene. It was This was just Lexana moments from a Lexana fan account.
Best of.
Okay, so we saw this. Chloe arrives. She's angry that Lex is taking advantage of Lana. Blah 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 blah. She storms out. Lex looks pleased at herself.
But
later,
also disappointed that she didn't stay to play pool. We should add that in there at the end.
Yes.
Editorialize.
That's my every time someone comes into Lex's home to yell at him. Lex is hoping this is the time.
We've had multiple. I'm pretty sure there's been multiple episodes of where Clark has stormed him angry, and Lex is like, "Clark, grab a stick. I was just about to break." Like all excited. I'm not kidding. No, that's been a line of dialogue, and then Clark's like, "Fuck you! I'm mad.
I'm mad. I'm here to yell at you." And it couldn't just be a miffed text message. I'm here to yell at you. Or maybe an AIM conversation.
After you yell, can we play pool?
Can we still play? Later, Lana confronts Chloe, angry that she was snooping into her relationship with Lex. Chloe says that she doesn't want Lana to get hurt, but Lana claims Chloe has humiliated her by spreading rumors because there is nothing going on between her and Lex. Okay.
The lady and the gentleman doth protest too much.
Exactly. Clark and Chloe investigate Tyler McKnight, and Chloe reports that he picked up the ability to manipulate glass after being caught in a stained glass workshop the day of the meteor shower. You know, honestly, if we've had one complaint on this podcast, is sometimes they leave us to guess where they were on the day of the meteor shower and picked up their powers. Just like, nothing would have been fine. It's like, how did he get powers? I was at a stained glass factory.
Yeah. Okay, so it's stupid. It's really stupid.
It is.
But what's even more stupid is that his daughter has inherited this from him. This is not something he was born with.
This is a wild precedent. This is a wild precedent.
He acquired this after he was born and still is passing it on to his child? Like it changed his genetics?
I'm literally gripping my beard right now and thinking. This is precedent breaking.
Like my dad...
We've never seen this before.
My dad was really good at golf because he worked hard at it. I'm not good at golf just because I'm his son. I wasn't born with the ability to play golf well.
Zach, was your dad playing golf during the meteor shower? Because if not, throw it out. Not admissible in court.
Could have been golf boy. I mean, that's exactly what happened with Wheat Boy, right? He was in the wheat fields playing with kryptonite.
Playing with kryptonite, and now he has to sit and watch Lex and Lana flirt and go, no, no, and he can't run away because his legs are wheat.
Oh no! I fell in a bowl of milk. I fell in a giant bowl of milk, and the giant spoon is coming at me.
No. Oh man!
I just love that Wheat Boy just yells out "No." That's the impression. Wheat Boy is just always in distress because he's Wheat Boy.
If I'm saying this now, I'm on my third beer, which is just I'm replicating. I have 2 Narragansett Tall Boys. If someone, one person, the first person to message on the Discord, I want a Wheat Boy t-shirt and I will wear it. You have to say you have to say that verbatim. First person to go say that verbatim in the Discord. I want a Wheat Boy t-shirt and I will wear it. I will with no timeline get you a single edition Wheat Boy t-shirt.
Brian, I'm worried that you're not going to follow through.
I'm going to follow through.
Wait, I am barred from putting this in the Discord, obviously.
No. I know you and no. They have to they have to find out about it from this episode. Now, granted, I'm not saying it's going to be a good t-shirt. It might be just something from Redbubble with my own little scribble of my interpretation of Wheat Boy.
I feel like we could make a pretty cool.
It also might just be a white t-shirt with Sharpie on it and a picture of Wheat Boy on it.
We could make a legit Wheat Boy t-shirt with online stuff, guaranteed.
We can make it happen.
We can make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. Like I said, this will be one person. There will be a single Wheat Boy t-shirt.
Is there a way we could make Wheat Boy happen on Talkville? Oh, that would be hard.
How the fuck did we get Wheat Boy on Talkville?
I mean, we have to introduce it the same way we introduced. I'll call in season 5, that episode, and I'll say, hey, when Clark was playing with the meteorites in the field of wheat, why didn't he turn into Wheat Boy? That's going to be my question.
That's a great. I specifically want Tom Welling to say the name Wheat Boy. This is what I want.
That's a cameo. That's we gotta call it.
No, I want him to say it on Talkville. I want him to say it on Talkville. This is not something we can just hand Tom Welling $150 and say, fucking say Wheat Boy. That anyone could fucking do that, Zach. I want Wheat Boy to be said on Talkville. They don't have to talk about him. They don't have to go into any more details. I want Tom Welling to say the name Wheat Boy. And hey, bonus points if I can get the no.
Oh no, I'm wheat.
Oh, he hates being wheat. He would do anything to not be wheat anymore.
I can't blame him.
His dick is wheat. Okay. Let's see here. Tyler, Clark and Chloe investigate Tyler McKnight, and Chloe reports that he picked up the ability to manipulate glass, blah, 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 blah. He used his ability to rob jewelry stores and was put in Belle Reve, but was recently given a clean bill of health and released. I love this logic of like, they were like, okay, so he robbed jewelry stores. He was put into Belle Reve, the mental institution. And they were like, he got a clean bill of health. Okay, then you did crime.
Right, yeah. Now you serve your sentence.
For the crime you did, knowingly.
Right. Wait, he robbed jewelry, so they're like, this guy's insane, put him in the institution? He must have had some other diagnosis.
But either way, you don't have it anymore. And that there is a pop culture thing where like the insanity thing is just like, that's fine now. You can just not go to jail now. You're going to be institutionalized. It's going to be equally terrible.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you'd almost rather be in the institution than in the
Yeah, right.
prison.
I say that with no experience of either. But
That's true, yeah.
Either way, so basically he just wasn't crazy and he got to do his crime. It's I was thinking at first, like, diamond thievery. Oh, that's a charming little crime. No one's mad at a diamond thief, right? It's like, probably like, hell yeah, take those fucking diamonds. But oh, right, there were also some murders in there. Those are less cool.
Yeah,
we're generally not as cool with those.
No. He's killing people.
Right. You find out a jewelry thief is on, like, with no violent, like, anything. Some guy stole some diamonds. Like, come on, let him have the diamonds. He got him.
He's clever.
Chloe finds Tyler's mother's address, and Clark goes to talk to her. She's surprised to learn of Maddie's existence and shows him a pattern for a piece of stained glass artwork that Tyler made. Clark recognizes that the finished piece is actually hanging up at the Talon because coincidences are great.
Brian.
Yes.
There's no way this.
There's no fucking way. You jackass. There's no fucking way.
Because I saw it, I was like,
no fucking way.
Oh, yeah, I never saw that before. And then I was like, wait, what if it was there?
That'd be incredible, and I will eat my hat.
And they just wrote it in, like...
No way. There's no I don't even want to waste my fucking time watching hours of Talon footage to confirm or deny this. There's no fucking way.
If it is, it'll be in the wiki notes. Certainly.
You're exactly correct. The wiki's already done the work for us. We don't even have to do this fucking podcast if we don't want to.
No. I mean, the wiki doesn't know about Wheat Boy.
That's true. Yet. Tyler takes Maddie to see it and collects 7 diamonds he has hidden in the glass. Clark super speeds to the Talon, throws Tyler across the room, and Maddie runs into his arms. I also love, like, Clark throws the guy. He crashes into the counter. Dead. Like, it collapses the encounter.
He's dead if he's real.
It's also real. Like, that's not insignificant property damage.
No, right, yeah. Good thing you know the owners.
Yeah, right. Clark takes Lois back to her apartment and reports that Maddie is going to live with her grandmother. Martha arrives and announces that she has decided to hire Lois as her new chief of staff.
Yawn,
but also it's like, so they mention, like, Lois got Jonathan elected. Unless you're a career campaigner, you're, like, on the campaign to get in there somewhere, right?
Totally, yeah.
You didn't set Lois up with a fucking gig?
Yeah, that's true.
You already hadn't set Lois up with a fucking gig?
That's messed up. That's kind of a slap in the face. You're asking her for favors, like, can you go over and watch The Orphan at my house instead of, like, giving her a real job?
You didn't give her a fucking gig, Martha? Martha Kent. Oh. She organized your husband's entire campaign that then put you in the seat. She's been on this longer than you've been.
Right, yeah.
She probably knows more about Jonathan's positions than you did.
True, Jonathan. She's in charge now.
There you go. Back at the hospital, Tyler is being brought into custody. The man who has... Okay, he's not dead. He should have been dead. But the man who has him handcuffed is wearing glasses. Tyler grins and the man's glasses shatter, killing him. Do you think that happened?
That part was pretty nifty. That was pretty... Cool. The way they shot that was good. The way that was done.
Agreed. You're wearing glasses right now. Do you think those can go into your eyes in a way that would kill you?
I mean, I don't think it's glass, though, probably. Some people do have glass. Some people do have glass. This isn't glass, but if it was, sure, why not? If it broke in a shardy kind of way. And
I guess so.
Went, like,
also,
all the way back into my brain.
Can you fully Magneto control it?
I think he can.
Okay. It's not... Maddie can just kind of make it explode.
Right. Yeah. That's the vibe I get.
Got it. Maddie is spending her last day at the Kent farm. Martha remarks that Jonathan would be proud of him. Not great, right?
He wouldn't be proud of Maddie.
Right.
Maddie's
Proud of him. And Maddie asks Clark if he's ever met his real father. Clark tells her that even though his birth father is a bad guy, he chose to be like his adoptive dad. Maddie is apprehensive about living with her grandmother with her powers, but Clark assures her that her grandmother will accept her for who she is. That evening, Maddie and Clark are playing cards when he notices the front door is busted. He finds Tyler McKnight in the barn with a shard of glass held to Martha's throat, threatening to kill her unless Maddie leaves with him. Clark uses his heat vision on the glass, and Martha runs to safety. I watched this whole episode. I got to the credits. I don't remember this whole fucking act. I blacked out.
Yeah, it's this is another thing with this episode. It's like they catch the bad guy, and then
did this episode not come to time?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Tyler then sends a cloud of broken glass towards Clark, but it is redirected by Maddie expertly controlling the glass and saying that she won't let him hurt anyone else. I don't remember any of this, dude. Clark talks her out of it. Clark talks her out of killing Tyler. Maddie lets the glass fall, and Tyler, seeming to realize what he almost made his daughter do, is subdued. The next day, Maddie's grandmother comes to pick her up, and Maddie and Clark have an emotional goodbye. Clark tells her that she can call him anytime she feels like she can't control her powers. Clark is walking Chloe out of her office when he inevitably brings up Lana. Chloe gets defensive and tells him that if he wants to know how she's doing, he'd better ask her himself because she is staying out of it. I got a clip here of the last moments, which are, get ready to take a shower because this is gonna be gross. It's gonna be gross. All right, here we go.
Hey, how's Lana?
I was wondering when you were going to bring up the L word. Why don't you call her?
That about?
Actually, I was just trying to give her some space. Has she met anyone yet?
Clark, look. If you don't want to talk to her, that's fine. It's your choice. But please don't make me your own personal little covert spy.
Chloe? Is there something you're not telling me?
No.
Allison Mack really would have thrived in a non-sci-fi tinged teen drama. You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Any other CW show, like your Dawson's Creek or your One Tree Hills, like she would have been so good on one of those.
Yeah. She's underutilized here.
Yeah.
She wasn't underutilized in The Cult, where she branded people.
God, where she was the second in command.
Yeah, no, wow, they really saw what they had there.
They maximized their Allison Mack.
Just to set the record straight.
I don't think the record could be any straighter. Chloe's working on a story where there is none.
Lex, our friendship means a lot to me, and I don't want any misunderstandings to
Let
get
me
in the
walk
way of that.
unreasonably close to you.
We're on the same page. If I somehow gave you the wrong impression the other night, I apologize.
You don't have to apologize for something that didn't happen.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
This whole thing, I mean, I can't believe we're even having this conversation. To think that there'd be anything
Heard a little of that
between us
Canadian.
besides friendship.
Her Canadian to slip in a
Talk
conversation.
is just a bunch of noise, as long as we both feel the same way.
That's all that matters.
They turn once again. Yeah. Lex goes in for the smooch.
Ballsy for him to try that again after he's been rejected so many times doing that.
And specifically, as Lana's like, so nothing's going on here, right? And Lex,
right,
nothing's going on here.
He's kissed her multiple times where she's been like, why'd you do that? That's not good. Now she's literally like, hey, just to be clear, this is nothing. And he tries it again.
And then, I will also say, generally, if someone has nobody please take this as I'm saying anything that I'm not saying. But generally, if anyone has awkwardly attempted to kiss me more times than I wanted to, I don't really hang out with that person that much. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yes.
It's like, hey, hanging out with that person's kind of weird.
Yeah, but you're not both in the same TV show.
Yeah, that tends to... Ain't that a bitch?
And the grossest thing is she's like, oh, wait, third time's the charm. Now I love it.
Because they back away, of course. Lana steps away.
Look, it's just something that happened.
Oh, Lana goes for it, and she's going for it.
Oh, no.
She's still bounced. This ain't gonna be an extended sexy time.
Oh. Lex is like, oh, yeah, now I really want to go play some pool. He's like, Lana, we don't have to kiss. Will you come back and play pool with me?
Oh my god, I almost regret not reading this from the wiki. Get this, Zach. The final two sentences here. Lana seems confused, then kisses him back before she leaves quickly. Lex smiles, pleased that his manipulatory plan to divide and conquer is working. Editorializing wiki.
Wait, manipulatory. Is that a word? I thought it was manipulative.
Manipulative. But also, Wiki, I think you have a responsibility to just tell us what's happening, not to editorialize.
Right, yeah.
That's not in the text.
No.
It's okay to take that from the text, but
yes.
No.
There's some ambiguity.
Right. Wiki, stick to the text.
I think he's happy because the girl he likes just kissed him.
Right. It's I usually, when a girl I've liked has kissed me, I usually have made the dumb what?
Right, exactly. Inside I'm going, oh no, she's confused.
She's made
I've misled her. She thinks I'm something
my manipulatory plan to divide and conquer is working.
Yeah, but it's like concern. It's like, oh no, what have I done to her?
No John Glover this episode. No John Schneider this episode. Man, for a series regular, John Glover's not showing up as much.
He's probably in a play or something.
You're probably right.
They save him for the good ones.
Series regular just means he's got to be ready. He's got to be ready when they need him, right?
Yep.
We'll work around you, but you got to show up when we need you. Looking at the notes here, I didn't see a ton of interesting stuff here. Unless you're super compelled by this episode marks the 34th appearance of Clark's red jacket, blue shirt.
Wow, we're already at 34. It's going to be so much 34. Higher.
I thought that number was low in 100 episodes.
But he didn't start wearing it until like 3 seasons in. He was flannel until then.
Oh man, you're right. Yeah, so that's about it.
No mention of the stained glass window in the Talon.
No mention of the stained glass window. They do mention the car windows not being glass. Transparent polymer. But nope. This is about Lex taunts Chloe for never having a boyfriend, apparently forgetting or is unaware of her brief relationship with Clark, or her hookup with Jimmy Olsen. Which
wait. Brief relationship with Clark? They went to a dance together.
Did they never properly get together for a minute? Why is that in my brain?
No, it was the end of season 1.
Is that it?
They went to a dance together.
I remember that's so much more of a thing. But
well, it was like a thing of Clark was thinking about it.
Right. I must be putting that together, yeah.
Relationship.
I did do some Googling of I was just looking for, does Tom Welling have any comments about directing an episode of Smallville? I didn't find that. I didn't look very hard because I got compelled by a Reddit post on our Smallville where, gotta say, no one's posted about our show. Just if you're inclined. How do you think Tom Welling did as a director? And it's attached with a picture here of Tom's in a baseball cap. He's got the cans around his neck. And hands on his hips, directing. How do you think? Give me your best guess. What do you think the vibe of these comments are on the Smallville wiki?
Oh,
or not wiki, Reddit subreddit.
I almost want to say they're going to be like, he's Orson Welles. It's like
You're not
Citizen
far.
Kane.
You're not fucking far, brother. I think, I'm not going to read usernames here because that's mean. I think the episode he directed were more about people than some of the other episodes. He directed the one with the girl who shatters glass, and we get to see so much more humanity in how he saves her. And his episodes have more intimate acting moments over the large fights and special effects. You mean they were cheaper? Someone comments on that post with Fragile, a fave in season 5. What?
Oh no, a fave. It just goes to show you people watch every show for different reasons, you know?
It's true. So this is why I badly want the new animated season to happen with him in charge. I can see a lot of humane moments coming.
Wild. This is all people who have crushes on Tom Welling, right? This is all people who are in love with Tom Welling.
I love his debut in Fragile, especially because directing is one thing, but directing plus acting as the lead, no less, is an admirable feat. Plus, it meant he understood the needs of cast in scenes with and as scene partners, which is something he and Rosenbaum discussed on Talkville and Inside of You. Oh, God.
This is why we don't have any listeners, because the Smallville fans would not want to listen to our show where we just rip on.
We're for no one. We're originals. No one thinks like we do, Zach. No one. Because once again, it'd be like, so you don't? No, we love Smallville. It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yes. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love the fucking show.
Why would we be?
This is the 4th time through for me.
Why would we be doing this if we didn't fucking love this show deeply to its core?
What's funny is Rosenbaum always talks about how he gets heat for being too critical of the show. Like, and compared to us, it's nothing.
Truly.
Although we do, I would say our criticisms are more biting, but we do also celebrate all the good stuff more than he does.
I think you're right.
Tom Welling always celebrates the good stuff on their show, but that's wild. Actors generally do direct other actors well. That's true.
I would assume it would be helpful, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I assume there are still like actors who do bad, but like anything, it's probably a large tool. There's a lot of directors who I assume are just really good at making the fucking day and being really efficient and getting good stuff. I assume there's people with like really great broad ideas.
Some of them just aren't as humane, you know?
That's it. I'm tired of these big action set pieces. Those are for dummies.
In my Superman show.
All right, Zach. I guess that's everything for Fragile. Next week, it's time. We have the Saw knockoff episode. Emily's going to come do that with us.
John Glover has come to pull this ship out of its tailspin.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, it's like it's a John Glover episode. He is the main character. He has the arc.
I have not seen this one since I would have watched it on DVD in Vancouver. I'm fully expecting this to be a good episode.
I haven't seen it in years, but I remember loving this episode.
Great.
Loving it. Because not only is there some a great John Glover episode, but the B plot, from what I can remember, is Clark and Lex having to team up to find
this is amazing.
Lionel and Martha, who have been kidnapped. So it's like you get Clark and Lex again.
This might be the one Emily likes.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I don't know.
She'll like it. I don't know if she'll like it, but it is a clear Saw. It is the first of multiple clear Saw knockoffs on this show.
There are multiple Saw knockoffs on this
There's
show?
at least one more in season 8 where a guy is a Saw-like dude is kidnapping couples and putting them on lie detector tests and making them say whether they love each other or not.
Oh, wow. Can't wait for that. Also makes sense. They just kept making those Saw movies for a while, just like once a year.
It was still relevant. Yeah.
They were, I was reading, so they made a lot of those fucking Saw movies, right? So that movie would come out in October. It would come out around Halloween.
Yeah.
They'd know around January that they were making another one because everyone was just like, fuck it. They're still watching them. Let's keep making them.
Yeah,
so
they cost
January.
Yeah.
January, they'd be like, all right, go, make another one. Okay.
Yeah.
To
Okay,
get
this
into
one
theaters
takes place
that October again.
Between 2 and 3. This one.
That's the new one. Hey, this has been the Talent Mix. Thank you so much for listening. What's the stuff? We have a Patreon. If you're sitting there with your hard-earned money, I'm like, where do I put this? Where do I put all this money? Come hide it in our Patreon.
Yeah.
Or don't. That's fine too. But we do appreciate the support. We're way overdue on some bonus stuff. We'll make up for that hopefully soon. And if not, just saying, we're not asking for much. Just like, hey, enjoy the show. That's enough to fuel me for a calendar year. One person just be like, hey, I like the show. That's gonna be it. It's gone. The energy's gone.
It just all of a sudden you just hit your limit.
I just dropped.
Just hit the wall. We're gonna get okay, I'm going to bed, man. In about 30 seconds here.
It's coming. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
I don't know if the Smallville gods would know this, but I want to know, did Brian's dad actually know that he was masturbating when he walked in on him?
Good night, everybody.